Hey there, welcome to another Chief of Staff coffee break. Today I thought let's talk about this interesting hiring market that we are in. In talking with leaders and especially some of my friends in recruiting, I am noticing a phenomenon that reminds me of something I learned 20 years ago in a book by Barry Schwartz called The Paradox of Choice. So in the tech market right now, there are more great candidates available for any job opening that you have than almost any other time I can remember in my career. Lots of fantastic folks are unfortunately out of work at the moment, right? It's been a pretty flat year for job growth, a lot of layoffs. Why am I bringing up Barry Schwartz and the paradox of choice? This book goes into a lot of detail about the ways that we as humans think that more choices make us more happy, but actually more choices make us feel paralyzed, and they actually often lead us to worse decisions. And so, in particular, when we have too many good options, so let's say too many good candidates available to us, we stop thinking about the potential that each candidate or each option brings to the table, how things might be better with this candidate or that one, and we start thinking about missed opportunities. We start thinking about these super hypothetical trade-offs of things we're missing out on if we go with this candidate versus that one. So in the recruiting world, that might sound like a leader saying, well, candidate A is great, but they don't have the experience that candidate B has with using ChatGPT. But then candidate B doesn't have the experience that A does with working in a global economy. I mean, just look at that. They speak 5 languages. So maybe you need a candidate who has both experience with ChatGPT and the global economy. Maybe we want somebody who speaks a couple languages too. Could you just, recruiter, go back and look at the 500 other candidates in the pool that you passed up over because these were the best 3 and see if anybody has all of that too? And when the recruiter says, well, hang on, we didn't mention any of those things as being important in the job description. And I mean, people might not have even put it on their resume. And well, those 3 were the best candidates for what you're hiring for here. The hiring manager says, I know. So I want to add those things to the job description now. And also, candidate C, the other great one, they had experience with purple unicorns. And all of a sudden, I'm just realizing that's really important too. We don't want to do without that. So go back, rework the job description, go through those 500 candidates, see if you can find one who has all of the things we're looking for, plus those 5 things. And, then a few weeks pass and the recruiter comes back and says, I can't find anybody who can do all of that and also has all the other experience you want. And the leader or the hiring manager is suddenly like, I don't understand, with all these great candidates, I mean, the job market being what it is, why is it so hard to fill my roles? But you see, that is exactly the trouble with humans when we have too many good choices available to us, like we do right now in the hiring market. We start to fixate on these hypothetical missed opportunities, these missing features and functions, if you will, that we didn't even think were important when we sat down and said, what matters for this role in my team? And instead, we look at that stuff, which is nearly impossible to satisfy, rather than looking at each candidate and saying, what are the benefits and the potential that this individual uniquely brings to the table? So beware the paradox of choice and work with your recruiting team, your talent acquisition leader, if you notice that you and your staff are hiring and you're falling into this trap. I am not an expert in recruiting or in TA. However, I do work with leaders on challenges like this, where our thinking is potentially getting in our way. So if you're interested in working with me, reach out. Just contact form on my website. I'd be happy to chat and hear what's going on in your world.